Now let's get to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas and the technology that is changing transportation. I'd like to welcome the Secretary of Transportation for the Trump administration, Elaine Chao. Welcome, Secretary Chao. Thank you so much for joining us. So we just spoke with Abigail earlier. Reports about the president possibly pulling out of Nafta, creating jitters in the markets, bringing down railroad stocks, car stocks. How might this impact the transportation business in the United States?
Well, trade is really not within my my lane, so to speak. I'm here at CES in Las Vegas, and I'm here to promote innovation and creativity, which is the hallmark of American genius. You know, we are preeminent in the worldwide economy because of the high-tech contributions to technology and information technology. And being here has been just magical. There is so much energy and so much innovation. So the role of this administration at the Transportation Department is to make sure that we are not, one, hampering the growth of innovation and creativity. Number two, that we're examining our own regulations to make sure that our regulations are not slowing the rate of innovation. You know, innovation is very important, but we want to make sure that it is done in a way that is responsible, that promotes safety, security, and of course, privacy as well. 94%. Sorry, one other point. 94% of accidents occur because of human error. And if we have self-driving technology that can really introduce safety on our roads, and of course, self-driving technology can certainly give the elderly and people with disabilities a tremendous freedom and a much better quality of life. So thank you for letting me say all that.
Yes, Secretary Chao, we're going to get into self-driving cars, but I am curious that if the president pulls out of Nafta, which has a huge impact on the transportation industry, do you see any risks there? Do you have any concerns about what the impact might be?
Well, as I mentioned, I do not think that would have any impact on the promotion of innovation and technology. That is something that, again, we're very focused on right now. And on the trade issues, that's not my lane. I'm concerned about promoting innovation in technology. America's preeminence around the world is in our contribution to innovation, and that's one of America's greatest competitive advantages.
So let's talk about the future of self-driving cars. Some have said that the federal government, has been a bit too hands-off when it comes to ensuring safety versus promoting innovation. How do you balance that going forward? Well,
while we are here at the CES site, the 1 millionth drone will be registered. So drones are here to stay. Self-driving technology is part of the near future. It's coming a lot faster than some people expect and a lot slower than others, but it is definitely coming. So our role is to promote the benefits of this new technology, while, as you mentioned, balancing the concern with safety. We have lots and lots of ways to ensure that this is done in a responsible way. One of the things that we are doing today, at 8:45 a.m., we have posted a request for information on 4 modes of transportation to see what regulations are hampering the growth in innovation in technology and what we should be doing within the federal government to reduce the unnecessary barriers to innovation in the transportation sector. So that's one way. And secondly, we've also issued guidelines last September 26th on automated driving systems. What do states have to consider when they're looking to legislate on autonomous vehicles? And we've also started a pilot program in drones. On October 26th, the White House issued a new initiative on how can we test drones so that the testing of drones doesn't go overseas as they are now. Many drone testing are occurring in Australia, in England. We have wonderful facilities here in the United States, and so we want to encourage the safe testing of drones in this country. So another example, right now drones cannot fly over the heads of people, and also drones have to be operated within the line of sight. And there are now 50,000 new jobs for people who fly drones. That's a job categorization that was unknown like 5 years ago. So lots of things are happening, and the federal government has a role in ensuring, again, the safety, the security, the privacy aspect of this new technology that's developing.
One of the interesting statistics we were looking at is that deaths on the road have actually hit a 9-year high, which you would think it would be going in the opposite direction. And I'm curious if you have any concerns that the rise of connected cars, whether it's infotainment systems or in-car navigation systems, could actually be more rather than less dangerous.
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, as I mentioned, 94% of accidents occur because of human error. And if we have a self-driving technology, hopefully there'll be greater safety on the roads. But as as you mentioned, there is anxiety. So 71% of Americans feel they're uneasy with this new technology. And so I'm here at CES also to challenge the tech sector to share their information and to help bring along the rest of America. Because as a former Secretary of Labor, I'm also very concerned about the dislocations in jobs. I'm convinced that in the long term, the new technology will create new jobs. As I mentioned, 50,000 new jobs have been created being a drone operator. That's not, we've never had that category until just recently. But there are also people who lose their jobs because of the disruptive technology. And so we as a society have a role, a responsibility, an obligation to lead on social issues such as this as well. And so this is part of the message, along with the two announceables that I just mentioned, that we are trying to foster and promote here at CES as well.
You mentioned earlier today that the FAA is concerned, Secretary Chao, about the number of drones that are flying, and we know that only a fraction of drones that are out there are actually registered. How concerning is that, and what are the FAA's concerns more specifically?
Oh no, all drones have to be registered, including hobbyist drones. And so some people don't like that, but but they have to be, as of now, the current law requires that they be registered. And the FAA has to, and the U.S. Department of Transportation, one of our great challenges is to integrate these drones, 1 million of them now, safely into our national airspace. Because as I mentioned, drones are here to stay. And drones are very helpful. We saw how helpful they were in the hurricanes of Harvey, Irma, Maria. I mean, the flyovers, the safety inspections, they were invaluable. We saw their value also in the flyover inspections with the wildfires in California. So there is a very public benefit of having these drones and the functions that they can perform. But once again, at the Department of Transportation, our concern is safety, security, cybersecurity, and privacy issues. And these are issues that we cannot do ourselves. We have to elicit information from the private sector and partner with all stakeholders in the nonprofit and the public sectors to address these very important issues.
Now, Secretary Chao, the administration has faced an unprecedented number of distractions, whether it's the Russia investigation or this explosive book by Michael Wolff. Now we see reports that the infrastructure package could be slipping to next month. When do you think things will start falling into place?
Oh, we've been working on the infrastructure proposal for quite a while, and very diligently, I might add as well. We hope to have the infrastructure come out around the State of the Union, which is January 30th. Infrastructure always came third. It came after the Affordable Health Care Act. It came after the tax reform bill. And then it is now the third item that will be legislatively considered. But one of the most difficult parts is how do you pay for it? So there's not an agreement yet, and we want to work with Congress on a bipartisan basis to address the deteriorating infrastructure of our country, because it obviously has impact on our nation's productivity and competitiveness.